Good afternoon. My presentation today is called The Road Less Traveled. It's about breaking rules and rebelling against the conventional approach. Some of you may recognize the title of this. It's from a poem that goes something like this, part of the poem. Two roads diverged in the woods, and I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Robert Frost. I really relate to that, and you'll find out why in just a bit. Well, let's look at some examples of these conventional rules that we might choose to break. Some of them include things like follow the rules. Some people think that you have to follow the rules, and that is a rule. Finish your education. Get a conventional 9-to-5 job. Arts, entertainment, creative pursuits are not real jobs. And similarly, creative pursuits in general are trivial. They're not really important. And finally, avoid taking risks. One example, if you're going into some unconventional field, make sure you have something to fall back on. Now, actually, before I get any further, I know a lot of you probably have no idea who I am. So let me introduce myself. My name is Mitch Williams. I work in the IT department here at Spoon River College. I manage the website and all the online services. But that's actually not what I do or who I am. Even though I'm now working here full-time and I'm very committed to the work that I do here, I tend to think of my job here as my side job. My real profession, my career is I'm an international award-winning magician. This is the video page from my website. And I'd like to share my story with you because I think it's relevant to what we want to talk about today. I actually grew up in this area and I attended Spoon River College. This is what it looked like way back then. And I was an art major. This is one of my first paintings, my old first oil paintings. I found I had a knack for imitating other people's styles of art. This was taken from one of my favorite artists, Frank Frazetta. And I was very inspired by some of the teachers here at Spoon River College. This is Betty Starasta. She was head of the art department at that time. She was a bundle of energy, and she really inspired me to become more passionate about all of my creative pursuits. And I was also involved in theater. This is Dr. Jean Gardner. She was the head of the speech and theater department at that time. And she wrangled me into taking part in the play. Played again Sam, this is me, as Humphrey Bogart. He played against Sam. Now, I was also pursuing my magic career at that time. I was already doing professional shows. This is me at a talent contest that actually took place down in the Centers building downstairs. And this is one of my first promotional photos, which was actually taken over in the lecture hall in Taylor Hall. I was also involved in judo in the martial arts, and at one point I was invited to come and train at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. I had to take off a couple of weeks from school here to do that. And after I graduated from SRC, I went to a school for magicians and trained under a famous magician named Neil Foster. This is Neil. He taught at the Chavez College of Magic. And he claimed that I graduated with high honors. So after finishing my work at Chavez, I launched my career as a professional magician. And after making a bit of a splash for myself amongst other magicians, I was invited to Hollywood to perform at the world-famous Magic Castle in Hollywood, California. And this is the world's most famous magic nightclub. This is me in my first performance there. After I'd been invited to come and perform there a few times, I decided to move to Hollywood and began really pursuing my career, perfecting my skills, started making a name for myself. At this time, I traveled all over the place throughout the United States, Canada. I worked in Las Vegas a little bit, Lake Tahoe, Japan, in Europe. And I was performing at that time in a variety of different venues, such as nightclubs and theaters and cruise ships and review shows, Vegas-style review shows. And I also performed on the same show with several different celebrities. Some magicians like Doug Henning and Harry Blackstone Jr., but also people like Rosie O'Donnell and Dennis Miller and Jeff Dunham. I was also still pursuing my artwork, and I began using graphic arts to promote myself as a magician and other well-known magicians at that time. These are some of the pieces that I did. And I was fortunate enough to meet and become friends with a very famous magician and movie actor named Channing Pollock. And he became a mentor to me. And one of the things that he helped me to do was to integrate my experience in judo and martial arts and movement disciplines into my magic. And I began taking that and my art and putting it all together so that I developed ways to approach magic more artistically. And I ended up presenting seminars across the United States for other magicians on how to approach magic as an actual art form. So, after I'd been in Los Angeles for about 10 years and really established myself, my wife and I decided we wanted to move back to the Midwest. And coming back here, the venues for entertainment are very different than they are on the West Coast. And now I had to turn to things like corporate events and colleges, and in fact, I performed here several times. And so I had to kind of reinvent myself. I had to learn new marketing strategies, how to market my business as an entertainer. And I also taught myself to do web design, how to create websites and online marketing and put a lot of automated strategies into place for bringing in new business. And I soon had a long list of corporate clients that I've worked for. And I also developed promotional skills to generate PR and publicity. And I became something of a local celebrity in the Central Illinois area. And I was also involved very much with the arts community in Central Illinois, helping to promote the arts as an economic driver in our area. So let's go back and look at some of these ideas, because, well, let me get to that in a second. Recently, and this is to kind of wrap things up, bring it full circle, I've been coming to some realizations for a while, and I realized that I needed to kind of reinvent myself again. The first one was that I had automated my business online and with all the different marketing strategies to the extent that it was taking less and less of my time to keep things running, to keep new business coming in. And so I also realized that I love what I do as a magician, but it's all about me. And I wanted to be part of something bigger. I wanted to kind of be able to contribute to something more than just about myself and be part of the team. And so when the opportunity came up here to take the position at the college, I kind of jumped at it. I realized that I had these marketable skills. I taught myself to do web management, web design. And even though I don't have a degree in IT, I was able to get this job and do what I do. And I absolutely love my work here. And it's, like I said, it's kind of brought me full circle, and it's the best of both worlds. I'm able to pursue my career as a magician and be part of something bigger here. So again, let's look at some of these rules we might want to think about breaking, and I'll show you how they apply. What I'm going to suggest that you do is break the rules, rebel against the conventional approach, but I'm not saying that you should rebel for rebellion's sake. You need to rebel with a purpose. Unlike James Dean, I want you to be a rebel with a cause. And what I suggest is that you pursue your passions, whatever that is. Now, a lot of people tell you that you first need to find your passion. I don't think that's true. In fact, I think your passion is what's right in front of your face. It's what you love. It's what draws you in again and again and again. It's what you keep coming back to. You do, however, need to clearly identify and define your passion and know where you want to go with it. And that, once you know what your passion is, it will determine your path in life if you choose to pursue it. And your path will just dictate which rules to follow and which ones to break. Rumi said, your heart knows the way. Run in that direction. And I love that advice. So let's look at some of these individual rules. Follow the rules. Some people think that's a rule. You have to follow all the rules. Some people get stuck on that. Personally, I believe that rules were created to serve people, not the other way around. So if you find that the rules are not serving you, by all means, break them. Know what they are. Master them if you need to. If you understand why the rules were put in place to begin with, you'll understand then which ones you can break, which ones you can follow, and when you should do each of those. Oliver Wendell Holmes said, "The young man knows the rules, but the old man knows the exceptions." Okay, another rule. Finish your education. Well, first, maybe we might consider, is a conventional education really required? Do we have to have a college degree? Now, before you folks standing back get nervous, let me clarify. I'm not advocating against higher education, against getting a college degree. Quite the opposite. I'm very passionate about education. But a lot of people think that. Here, let me show you some people that didn't get a college education. A lot of people think you have to finish your education and then you go to work and you're done with your education. I think that's nonsense. One of the most important things I got from my degree here at SRC was learning how to learn. I really think that we need to have an accelerated learning curve throughout our entire life. And be a great student. Always be taking in new information and sharing that information, being a great teacher too. Change is going to happen. You're either growing and becoming more, or you're dying. You're on the way to death. So choose to learn. Choose to become more. Okay, another one. Get a conventional job. This one has pros and cons. I've broken this one. I've followed it, and now I'm doing both. The pros are it gives you stability and a regular income. If your life path is something that requires that, then by all means do that. But for some people, it may lack flexibility. It may limit your creativity and your independence. So that's one of those choices that you have to make. Now, these two I want to spend a little time on. Arts and entertainment aren't real jobs, and creative pursuits aren't really important. Well, we all know the cultural value of the arts, how it brings more into our lives in a personal way. But let's look at it from a little bit different angle. Economically, in the United States alone, the arts and cultural sector employs nearly 5 million people, and it generates just over $1 trillion annually. That's more than the auto industry or the building trades and construction industry. It's expanded faster than the total economy since 2012. It consistently has a trade surplus in the United States. Locally, the arts drive tourism. It drives economic development. It drives real estate sales. It drives talent attraction. When big companies want to bring new people into an area, one of the first things that they want to know is, well, what's going on in that area? Do you have arts? Do you have theater? Do you have live entertainment? The arts drive all of this stuff. So that's how powerful it can be. In education, it's a well-known fact that students who have an arts-rich curriculum, kids who have arts as a regular part of their curriculum, they perform better academically in every single subject. Math, language arts, science. They have better school attendance. They're more likely to attend college, and they have better results at college. They're more successful in business later in life. They're more civically engaged, and they have better social and leadership skills. Unfortunately, when budgets are tight, sometimes the arts programs are one of the first things to get cut. I think they should be the last. Just my little soapbox there. Okay, and the last one, avoid risks. And just one example, if you're going into some unconventional field, make sure you have something to fall back on. Well, when I was a student here at SRC, in my comp class, one of the assignments was to write an essay on the career that we wanted to pursue. I wrote mine on magic. My comp teacher came to me later and privately tried to talk me out of that. She said, that's really rough. That's going to be tough to do. And, she wasn't totally wrong. I chose a challenging path. And there were times when I struggled. But I didn't take her advice, and I never looked back, and I never regretted it at all. These are some people who definitely took risks. Okay, so take risks. Okay, what are the takeaways here? Pursue your passions. Your passions are the things you're going to have the potential to be the most successful at, because it's the thing that you're going to pursue doggedly, if you're willing to pursue them. Break some rules. Rebel against convention for convention's sake. Bring artistry and creativity into everything you do. You know, you don't have to be an artist to be an artist. You can bring that into whatever you do. And have a lifelong accelerated learning curve. I really believe that arts and education are the two areas of our society that have the most potential to literally transform our world. So bring that into whatever you do. Take the path less traveled by. These people pursued their passions. They broke some rules. They rebelled against convention. They brought creativity to what they did. They had a lifelong learning path, and they took the path less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. And I challenge you to do the same. Thank you. I will gladly entertain any questions or comments that you might have. Yes?
I've always wanted to go to the Magic Castle. Can you just as a tourist show up there, or do you have to have a special?
No. No, it's a private nightclub.
Oh.
You have to be a member or a guest of a member. They do have guest passes that members can give out. But you need to know somebody that is a member there in order to go to the Magic Castle. Yeah, it's a wonderful place. That was my stomping grounds when I lived out there. Yeah. Yes?
Did I see Abraham Lincoln on that?
Yes. Yeah. He was self-educated. He taught himself to be a lawyer. He didn't have a degree. Yeah. He was a trailblazer. So be a trailblazer. Thanks, you guys. Thanks so much.